right, let's look at short exercise 8-5. This is on page 527 of your text. And we're going to do some practice journalizing petty cash transactions. So here they're asking us to prepare the journal entries for the following petty cash transactions of Grayson Gaming Supplies. So on March 1st, they established a petty cash fund with a $150 balance. And then they had some petty cash transactions, and what was left in the fund was $14 in cash, and then $148 in tickets, and then they increased the petty cash fund to $200. So here you can follow along if you like. I'm going to be using that Chapter 8 working files, Excel file. So here we go. Let's see. We're going to prepare those journal entries. So the first journal entry is to set up the petty cash fund. So this was March 1st. And we're just going to debit petty cash. Remember, petty cash is just like a regular cash account. Okay, it's an asset cash account. And we're going to take it out of our regular cash account. So we're just going to debit petty cash and credit cash. All right. Then we've got March 31st. Before we can actually do this journal entry, I need to know what I'm going to be writing my check for. So I want to know what the petty cash fund balance should be. So it should be $150. I want to know what my cash on hand is. So the cash on hand, they said, was $14. And my tickets that I used, misspelled cash, the tickets that were used and I have receipts of added up to $148. So that's going to be my total accounted for out of that $150. So I've got a total accounted for here of $162. All right. Now that's more than my $150, right? So that means that I'm over that difference. So I have an additional $12 cash. So this is my cash over of $12. So somebody must have accidentally put more money in or wrote tickets for less than what we, or more than we actually took out. So something happened. Okay, so that's our cash over. Now I need to know, well, how much am I actually going to write my check for? So my cash fund, I want to be, should equal 150, right? My cash on hand is 14, so I'm going to write my check for the difference. So I'm going to write my check for $136. So over here, when I write this journal entry, I'm going to credit cash for $136. Okay, so that's what I'm going to credit cash for. And let's see, over here I've got 1, 2. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to credit cash for $136. All right. And I know that my cash is over 12. So remember in the example we looked at in the PowerPoint, if we're under cash, we're going to debit it like an expense. If we're over, we're going to do cash short over account. We're going to credit that account when we're over. Okay. And then we're going to go and look over here at what was listed for our tickets, and we're going to record those expenses. So we had one issued to pay office supplies, so I'm going to put supplies expense was $58, and then entertainment expense, or you could put miscellaneous expense, was $90. So we should total it to the same. So we've got 148 and 148 here. So our debits and credits equal. And that's how we'll replenish. We're writing that check and putting that money in the petty cash box and then recording all the expenses that we used it for. Okay. Then the last thing says on April 15th, they increased the balance of the petty cash fund to $200. So anytime we increase or reduce the petty cash fund, we're just going to do just like we initially set it up. So I'm just going to debit petty cash, and for the difference between 200 and 150 would be 50, and credit cash 50. All right. So that's how we do our transactions for the petty cash fund.